If training is needed, provide it by modeling what the behavior should look like or how the intervention should be executed. Remember that feedback can go both ways. Supervisors need feedback as well to help them improve in their skills. Very true. Some of our clients,
Same.
your supervisees have, oh, same. Jesus, I'm hungry. Same as our clients, your supervisees have reinforcements and they are not all the same. Sometimes doing a preference assessment can help with deciding what works for them. Doing a checklist of different reinforcers that are accomplishable can help with this. An example of reinforcers that can't be provided would be bonus. This is not something that a supervisor can provide, although a $10 gift card is something that can be achieved. Imagine if I gave $10 gift cards to all of my RBTs. I'd be broke.
I mean, this is something that
I think
I
this is
had,
some
I think an RCTC tell me when she was in when we were doing a mentor meeting that she had done that for her supervisees.
how many supervisees she had because
I
and
don't
how
know.
often is she's giving them, because I don't have that many cases now, but I have, I'm counting. uh am I missing someone? Yes, I have 8 RBTs. That would be $80 per week. I know I'm sounding super cheap, but I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
that's an example. You don't have to give them. In the next slide, I have a preference assessment that actually I created. So there's other stuff that you can
Yeah,
provide, not
but
just
this is, and I remember when you created this is more things that you can do company wise. What can you do as a direct supervisor? Like, for example, remember I used to do that, we'd all go out to dinner one
mm-hmm.
after social skills on a Friday.
Yeah.
And we would spend time together, or sometimes to social skills, we would buy food and bring it over. Now that's a little bit different because there was a lot of you guys and we did it there. Um, when I go to conferences, I always bring gifts back for my RBTs, little pins, little erasers. Don't tell me you never got one because Danny told me she never got one, and I feel so guilty.
I no. I did not. I
So
didn't want to
I
say
think
no,
what happened,
but
I think one year I didn't go. And then I think one year I brought them back and I just kept forgetting them to put them in my bag. But that's something I would do. And like I'd pull out like a little clip that said data then coffee, or coffee then data. And then when you guys did something really good, I'd give it to you. I would do stuff like that. Now I have some bags that say RBT on it that someone gifted me. I just have a bunch of them. So sometimes when an RBT is doing really good, I'll show up and I'll be like, hey, I brought some materials for the kid. By the way, you can keep the bag.
that's cute.
So I think your examples are good, but we also need to think, the BCBAs, when you're working in a company, you probably have a lot of RBTs.
Yeah.
And like the $10 thing. I think maybe I'm just cheap. Maybe it's because I'm
It's just
moving
an
and I'm stressed.
example.
Yeah, but I know it's just an example, but I don't want people studying to think they have to financially spend on their RBTs.
So then,
Because
um,
sometimes another thing I've started to do and it's worked really well is like my RBTs, and I've done this all the time. Uh Give them opportunity to cover other cases. So I'll ask them, "Hey, I know your kiddo has had some cancellations. I have another kiddo at this. Do you want to cover?" And I've noticed that they really appreciate that, and they understand that I'm doing it because I trust them, because I their skills, and that works as reinforcement. I've had really good effects from that, and I started doing it mostly out of necessity. I've done it with you.
see, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's not that you have to physically give them a $10 gift card, but that also you're helping them financially because you're giving them a case to cover. So
Yes,
you
but
are helping them, but also you're helping the client as well to not have services to
all
be
I'm saying, add some examples that don't have to do with money, because you're like, you can't be provide a bonus. That's not something a supervisor would provide, although a $10 gift card yet. But provide other ones like providing feedback, providing a shout out. I know you have it in your next slide. Um, Telling them, hey, I really trust you. Do you want to cover another case for a week?
So now, do you want me to take out this slide, or do you want me to just take out the slide and add more stuff on the reinforcement
I don't
systems?
I don't want you to take out a slide. On 16, I want you to add more examples.
Add more examples. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, the next one is I6, use a functional assessment approach to identify variables affecting personnel performance.
Training, how training doesn't evaluate performance.
Forgot
Task
where I was going with
clarification and
this.
prompting also doesn't evaluate performance. What
I
evaluates performance is like the fidelity checklist.
Yes, but I think I I would have to look back on this in the Cooper book, but this ties into this, the PDCHS. So you see how there's a section for training and there's questions underneath about the training?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I meant. The components that are included are this: training,
Okay.
task clarification and prompting, resources, materials, and processes,
Where did you
performance
get this performance
online.
diagnosis checklist? Okay. Is this an ABA checklist?
I want to say yes, because this has even been given to me during mentor meetings with within the company. So I want to say yes.
Okay. I'm not particularly familiar with this. I'm gonna have to review it and check in on it. The fact that it says human services, I'm not sure where this was developed or what it's exactly for. But again, this is more like a company-wide thing. Think about as you as a BCABA, how would you assess your supervisees?
So if you look at the training portion, the first question is, has the employee received formal training on this task? If yes, check all applicable training methods. And it gives instructions, demonstrations, rehearsal. So that can apply to your supervisee.
So
Second
you would,
question, huh?
how long is this?
Uh, 3 pages. No, 2 pages. And then this is just showing the references and
So
the area.
you would run this assessment with your supervisees. You would bring in the paper and run it with them during supervision.
You can, yes.
No, no, no. I'm not asking if you can. I'm asking is if would you do it.
Yes, just because the questions are generalized, it's not specific.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna read over it. Can you send it to me? And I'm
Yep,
gonna do
I
a
will.
little bit research on it. I know. D d don't skip through it yet. Can you go back to the first one? Go back up. Go to slide 19. Okay. Here, I know that you took out these things from the questionnaire. In the questionnaire, the reason for the question for training is because if they haven't been trained and they have a low score, they need training. If
Mm-hmm.
they've been trained and they have a low score, then something else is going on and you got to figure it out. But this is not the only way to assess your RBT's performance. You could do, like we said earlier, a checklist, right? The
Mm-hmm. The fidelity checklist.
fidelity checklist. You can do observation. You can take data on the goals you created for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
You keep track of the training you've provided, right? So I'll tell an RBT, this is how we're going to do it. I show it to them, then I see them do it. I write down on my notes, I taught them today to do this and that. Next time I come over, I wait and see if they do it. If they don't do it, I'll be like, hey, run this program. I observe, I provide feedback. That's an assessment of the skills. So this is
Okay.
a very formal and good assessment. I want to read over it anyways before we decide to keep it in the slide. But how would you do it in the natural environment when you have 9 supervisees?